From your perspective, do you think there is a meaningful difference between take a league like the NFL and obviously each team having a specific market that they're, obviously looking to commercialize, but obviously they're building, you know, fan relationships in versus a league that simply sells media rights and calls it global reach?
Yeah, I think that's the difference between global reach and global fandom, right? And I do think there is a difference, right? There's nothing wrong as a league to have global reach. I mean, you should. You're extracting the value out of everything, right? Global fandom, though, is, do people actually care about your product, right? Is cricket growing in the US, or is it only consumed by Pakistani and Indian and British immigrants, right? Those are two different things. One is as I said, one is distribution. The other one is rational, right? Which is you're there. The other one is emotional, which is irrational. Is there emotional attachment to that product, and how do you build it? I would strive, if I were a league, to look for that emotional attachment, but that is very difficult to do, because if there was a formula to do it, everybody would do it, right? There is no formula, and you just have to try and fail and try and fail, and maybe it's bringing an international player into the league, and maybe that flops, right? I mean, bringing Indian players to baseball hasn't necessarily made baseball more popular in India, right? So the selling rights in a market may increase reach. Creating a generation of fans who identify with your league is something entirely different and not as easy to do.
I think accessibility is interesting though, and I'd be interested in your perspective on that. Taking cricket in the US, obviously there is a huge market of, expats, myself included, who struggle to build a relationship with the game, in other markets from a time zone perspective, from players who often change teams and you can't keep up. So how do you think accessibility plays into it from from growth of the game perspective?
It's the most important element, I think. There's a dynamic of evolution of the maturity of your product that I think should go hand in hand with the distribution of your product, right? What do I mean by that? Products like the Champions League, during their early stages, when selling rights, they're always trying to get money, but they would put more weight in the distribution of their content than the money that they were getting, right? I'm not saying it was the most important element, but it was a very important element, because to the extent that you would grow the league, you could reap the benefits in the future, right? So fast forward to today, and the Champions League can command huge amounts of money for very limited distribution, where they understand now that at this point, the only way they extract the most value is with limited exclusive distribution on paid platforms. Yet, if you're a league that is nascent, or a league that isn't established, or a league that is fighting for your position still, I think you're better off giving away your product for free to platforms that are widely distributed, in lieu of the little money that you will get, that is not a lot, and it might create a very short-term incentive. So I see a lot of these leagues that pursue the money in early stages, and I think that's a flawed short-term strategy.